Hello, everybody.
Hi everyone, good evening. You're watching Money Hour with Lakshmi. I'm your host Priya Agrawal, and joining in with me today we have Chanchal Saxena with us from Team Lakshmi. And if you're tuning in for the first time, let me give you a brief about Lakshmi. Lakshmi is India's first financial platform exclusively for women. And in this episode of Money Hour, we are here to talk about retirement planning, like how you can go about it. All right. So before starting with the topic, let's see for those of you who have joined us live, drop a hi in the comment section below so that we can interact and engage forward in this session. And I'll tell you what all things we'll cover in this session. So firstly, we usually say that you'd require this much amount of corpus for your retirement. But before starting, let's see how do you plan for that retirement process? Like what's the process behind it? So in a previous live, we discussed what is retirement planning, why do you need to plan for your retirement? But now we are saying that as we have moved forward, let's see how what's the process behind retirement planning, then how you can invest less and earn a greater amount of corpus. That's something very exciting, and with the help of Excel sheets we are going to tell you how you can invest and earn a greater amount of retirement fund. And thirdly, we have something as a concept called fire. So I would like to know, like, have you heard about it or not? So stay tuned till the end of the session. We are going to help you out understand how fire is related to retirement planning. And lastly, we'll show you how you can use retirement calculators to work out on your retirement planning funds and plan your journey ahead. So let's get started. And Chanchal, since you are here with us, we have a couple of users also live. So hi Akshata, hi Preeta, hi Kinjal. It's great to have you all here. Thank you for joining us. So as we were discussing, let's see, for all those of you who have joined us live, do drop a hi in the comment section below and let's start with this session. Chanchal, as we were discussing that, retirement planning is important and everything. So, what's the process behind it? How do we plan for it? So, can you explain us that?
Definitely, I can. And before I start, I just want to tell everybody who's watching us today, if you have been a person like me who has had a very hard relationship with numbers, today's live is the right place where you can be, because today we are actually breaking down the numbers in an Excel sheet to show you how retirement planning is done, how accurately it is done, and how it is different for different age groups. So if you know somebody who would really benefit from this session, please invite them right now. We still have time to start with that session. Till that, I'll be telling you guys the process. You can always invite them and they can join us. And hi Rebecca, hi Sai Deepika, welcome today's session. It's really great to see you guys again. It's been a week, but it feels like it's been a lifetime since we are connected. And last session, we got a lot of love from you guys, so thank you so much. So, beginning today's session, so we hear this question a lot, right? Like, how much should I keep for my retirement corpus? How much should I save in my retirement fund? How much should I, save in general to create this retirement fund? Where to park my money? And we promise you that we are going to answer all these questions for you. The how much part is going to get covered today, where part is going to get covered in our further sessions. But before we proceed to how much we need to save for and invest for a retirement fund, let's first see what is the right way to go about it, because you can't just wake up and say that this is how I'm going to do it, because that's not how it works. It's going to be really chaotic if you do it that way. So the right way to do is actually make a roadmap for yourself. Now, the first step that you have to take into consideration while planning for your retirement is calculate the amount that you need at the time of your retirement. Now, this amount is going to be different for everybody. Right now, I am here, Priya is here, all you guys are here. It's going to be different for all of us, and I'll tell you why. For example, I have a dream that I want my retirement to be something like I'm living on the Bora Bora Islands and I'm having my own jet ski. I have like my own 2, 3 pets there, and this is my kind of a retirement. On the other hand, Priya thinks that she wants a retirement where she's traveling across the globe. She's flying to all the countries to eat every type of cuisine she can have her hands on. Now, these two are very different goals. I might require a little lesser corpus compared to what Priya would require because she's going to spend like crazy, right? So, to ensure that we all have enough money with us when we are trying to meet our retirement goals, it's important for us to be calculative in advance. Now, there are certain things that you need to keep into consideration when you're calculating this retirement corpus. Please don't just think about the Bora Bora Islands and the different cuisines. These are just some examples and some goals that I'm talking about. The real factors are your life expectancy. That's the first thing that you need to consider because retirement is not the end game, right? Retirement is just that stage where you reach after which you know you're not going to have an active flow of income through your physical work or through your through your hard work. You're actually going to continuously earn money. So that is a stage where you're going to put a halt to this process, and now you want to earn your passive income. Now you want to sit and earn. So your retirement is a different age. Your life expectancy is basically till when do you think you're going to have a lifespan, and this is going to again be different for different individuals because it depends on their medical history, their family history. So that is one thing that you need to consider, because that is till retirement you're not planning, you're planning till your life expectancy. Till then you have to sustain your money, right? Second thing that you have to take into consideration is inflation. Now, inflation, as we all know, and as we have discussed in our previous sessions, inflation is nothing but the purchasing power of the money that you have right now, that falling with time because the rise in price of goods and services. Basically, if today something is costing you for 100, maybe that same thing is going to cost you way more than that tomorrow, and you never know by what rate. Every month that rate changes. Every year the government issues a new rate of inflation, so it changes with time, and that's why uh, you need to ensure that your inflation is something that is being taken into consideration. Your next part is rate of return. Now, your rate of return is something that you're going to earn on your investments. You're going to earn on your instruments. Now, this rate of return is going to be a very important determinant of your investments because uh, this is the rate of return basis which you're going to plan your corpus out, right? Like if you know that this is giving me higher returns, your investment amount is going to be lesser and your time frame could be adjusted accordingly. So that is one thing. And the one thing that I just talked about in the beginning, right? The lifestyle. Like what do you want to, where do you envision yourself? How do you see yourself living? Do you see yourself living like a very casual, a very chill lifestyle, or do you see yourself all around the place? You're doing every hobby that you wanted to do right now because your strict parents would allow you to do it. So these are the things that you need to take into consideration. Now, please remember that if you cannot calculate these amounts by yourself, there's a very helpful tool known as the retirement calculator that is available. It's all over the internet, you can find it anywhere. But you know what, we are here to make your work easy. All you have to do is go to the Lakshmi app and use the Lakshmi's exclusive retirement calculator. How does it benefit you? When you use a calculator, you actually get to see the total amount that you require. It also tells you the SIP amount and the lump sum amount that is that you have to arrange for right now to meet that goal. And at the same time, it also gives you recommendation through the different products that we are offering at Lakshmi. So that is one thing that you can do. Now, one more thing that you have to take care of is that retirement planning, we have heard this a lot of times, right? Like start early, start as soon as you can. But the right way to do is that before starting your retirement plan, make sure you have your health insurance in place, you have your emergency fund in place, because if you don't have your health insurance and your emergency fund, you will be ending up using your retirement corpus in any emergencies in today's time. So these are a few things that you have to ensure that you are taking into consideration. Now, since I've covered the basics, the beginning, I've bridged the gap between where we're standing, like what to do, to okay, this is how I need to start planning. Now, Priya, I think is the right time when we tell our users how to go about making the investment, how much money to put. And I believe all our guests would have joined in by now who really want to see how these Excel sheets are going to make our work easy today.
Sure, definitely. We're going to explain it in a very easy manner so that these numbers, so people who have fear related to the numbers, it just goes away for them, and it becomes very easy for them to understand. But before going into that, I just want to know, like, who all are the people who are watching us live, have you heard about the word compounding? And how many of you know what compounding is? So drop your comments. We'll be reading it, and accordingly, I can help you understand what exactly compounding means and how it works in building your retirement purpose. So I'm just waiting for all of your comments right now.
Can I put a comment?
Definitely, yes. Absolutely. So what we can do is, so we have a answer from Piyush Anand, and she is writing that, yeah, interest on interest, and that's absolutely right. So this is, people have this concept like interest on interest, but how does it work? How exactly it helps in building the money? So let's see. So I'll explain it to you from the basics, because we have the users who are new to this concept of compounding. So there are two types of interest here. So first is the simple interest and the other is the compound interest. All right. So in terms of simple interest, I'll give you an example. Consider you invest 100 rupees. If you keep it in your bank, like in your I would say your cupboard or something, your money doesn't grow. But there are two options to grow your money. So first is through simple interest and the other is compound interest. In terms of simple interest, supposedly you are investing 100 rupees at the rate of 10% for 3 years. At the end of 3 years, you will get rupees 130. All right. On year one, you will get on 100 rupees, you will get rupees 10 as a 10% interest. And this simple interest remains constant over the years. It doesn't change. Whereas in terms of compound interest, when we talk about, it gives interest on interest, as we heard right now. So when you are investing rupees 100, at the end of the year, with a 10% interest, you will get 110 rupees. And in the year two, that 110 rupees becomes your principal amount. That means when you will get interest in the next year, you will get the interest not on the rupees 100 that you invested, but on the 110 rupees here. So right now the amount doesn't look significant, but when we look at bigger numbers, it makes a big difference to your corpus. And because of that only, we are here to talk about power of compounding and the magic of compounding, like how it actually helps. And there's a quote from Albert Einstein which mentions that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Like he says that it's like he who earns it is understands it, and he who doesn't is usually pays for it. So that is the quote. And you must be thinking, like, if Albert Einstein has mentioned that it's the eighth wonder of the world, it must be something really interesting. So let me share my screen and show you how it exactly works out. Just give me a second. All right, so we are here considering, let's see, we have three examples. Okay, so we have three people here with us, one named Akshita, Janvi, and Shreya. All right, these three people are investing. These are of different age groups. Akshita is at the age of 25, Janvi is 35 years old, and Shreya is 45 years old. All right. So all three of them are investing 1,20,000 on a yearly basis, and at assumed rate of return of 12% till the age of 60. They invest regularly. So that is one discipline that requires money to grow. And let's see where they reach after the end of 60 years. All right. So in terms of when we see Akshita's value, so for this we have kept certain assumptions per se. So here we have not taken inflation into account, just so to make you familiar with the numbers, and we have the calculators in place where you can use the inflation also to get the retirement corpus. But this is more of an educational kind of purpose. So let's see. In terms of Akshita, she is investing 1,20,000 on a yearly basis, and at the end of 60 years, you will be surprised to see that she has gained a corpus of 6.51 crores. So her investment was only 4.32 crores, as you can see, but due to the effect of compounding and the regular way that she was investing, her corpus has turned out to be 6.51 crores. That's surprising, right? So, and when we see the other person, Janvi, she started investing at the age of 35. All right, she is also investing the same amount, but at the end of 60 years, her corpus value is only 2.02 crores. This is the approx value that we have taken into consideration. So you now see that there is not a major difference when you see that 43.20 lakhs and 31.20 lakhs. So there is a difference of around 12 lakh rupees here, but you don't see a major difference in terms of the amount invested, but in terms of the corpus there's a huge gap, right? So here Shreya Janvi is earning 2.02 crores, while Shreya Akshita has the corpus of 6.51 crores. That's a significant difference, right? And when we see a person, Shreya, who started investing at the age of 45, her investments grew to, she invested around 9.20 lakh, and her investments grew to 57.46 lakh. So now you can see the difference here, that their amount invested is 43.2, 31.2, and 19.2, which doesn't have a major difference in terms of the corpus. When you see that Akshita is earning 6.51, Janvi is earning 2.02, and in terms of Shreya, when we see that she only got 5.46 crores. So now when we talk about it, it's basically, let's see what all we have learned as of now. So are you all familiar with what I just explained? Like, did you understand, or do you want me to explain it a little better for you? So right now, what we saw was the major difference is in terms of the compounding. So the longer you stay invested, the greater is the amount of corpus that you generate. So we see that interest on interest is actually, the power of compounding can actually give you exponential returns in the long term period. And when the time horizon of investment is low, your investment corpus also differs significantly. So that is why we say that, you need to start early. Now let's consider a different scenario where we talk about these three people only. So we saw Akshita's corpus, right? That she got 6.51 crores. So let's see that Janvi and Shreya also wants the similar corpus. So at the age of 35 and 45, how much they have to invest more to get that similar corpus? So I'm going to share my screen and let you explain it to you how it can help with building your retirement corpus. Just a second. Yeah. So this is another example. The target value here is 6.1 crores for all of these people. The assumed rate of return is 12%. The age has remained same, like 25, 35, and 45, and they invest till the age of 60. But here, what's the difference is Akshita is investing 1,20,000 per year, and she is getting the corpus of 6.51 crores. All right. Now, Janvi also wants a similar corpus. So as she's starting late, she has to invest more money. So as you can see, Akshita has invested only 1,20,000, whereas Janvi, since she's late by 10 years, she has to invest like 3,86,000 on a yearly basis to get that similar amount. And if you see for Shreya, she starts at the age of 45 and she only has 15 years to retire, and to get that 6.51 crores, she has to invest 13 lakh on a yearly basis to get that corpus. So now you must be thinking, like, is the amount really, like, it's a huge amount, right? So for all of those people, I want to know, like, are you surprised by these numbers? Do you think that you should plan early? And do you now understand why we say that it's very important to start early? Because now you see that in terms of Akshita's example, if we see, she invested only 1,20,000 compared to 13 lakh, which Shreya has to invest. All right. So there's a major difference, right? So with less amount of money, you can always grow to more and more fund your retirement. And this is why it's very important to let your money compound for a long term and start early. And one more thing here is that patience is the key here. So you need to stay invested. It shouldn't be like there are people who have questions like market is at all time high. Should I redeem my funds or not? So if you have this goal in mind that you are invested for a long term period, then these markets ups and downs should not bother you a lot, and you should stay invested and let your money grow, because at the end of 60 years you will see that, yeah, that money has grown exponentially. So I hope it solves the all the fear that we have for numbers. And for all the viewers who are watching us live, I want to know, like, did you understand or do you have any doubts? You can ask me right now, I can help you with it. And so let's move on to another topic, Chanchal.
Sure, but before we move on, I think I'd just like to conclude what you said. I think the first thing I understood was that it doesn't matter when you start, right? I mean, obviously, starting early is a real big thing because you can see that significant difference between the amount you have invested and the amount you're getting in return. But at the same time, we saw that even if you start late, it's okay. I mean, like, you are going to make something out of your money. And so I
Yeah.
think that's one thing that is very important for the users to know, because if I think there are a lot of us who feel that maybe we started late, maybe we should have done it earlier, like, I think the time is gone. But it's not. I mean, every day is a new day. You just have to wake up and decide that I want to make a difference and just start saving and investing from that day itself. You might not get what a 22-year-old would be getting because they started that early, but you'll definitely get something out of it. So that is one thing that I understood. And I
Also,
mean, obviously, sorry.
no, I'm saying this is the learning that the parents can, convey and teach their kids about, like, so that they can also start investing early. When they start earning, they can also start investing in terms of, so that at the age of 60 years, when their kids also, see their money grow, it makes them happy and, satisfied that their parents taught them, and now they have been, seeing the results of it, I would say.
Right, absolutely right. I think the earlier you, not just with investments, but I think the earlier you start with the awareness part, I think that is what creates the whole difference. So, absolutely. I mean, if somebody here in the crowd is just like me, who's overwhelmed by numbers, who feels like numbers are too much to, deal with, I think I can help you understand compounding with a very simple example, because that is how I understood, and that is how actually I understand these concepts. Because honestly, this is my profession. I have to deal with numbers, but I'm not a big fan. Okay, math and I have always had the hardest relationships. So yeah, the one thing I kind of like, the one analogy that I can present here for people who have a hard time with numbers is, for example, your clouds are your principal amount. Your ocean is your returns. Okay. Now your how if okay, for example, your clouds are your principal amount and your oceans are your returns, and your rain is your interest. Now, if the cloud is pouring the rain directly into the ocean, that is a simple interest because it's like just coming. And every time it rains, you get that interest, it's done. Now, next time when the clouds will come, when it will rain, that is when you'll again get that interest. So, this is simple interest, okay? When you talk about compound interest, it's basically the cloud is raining on top of a mountain. The raindrops get merged with the rivers on the mountain, and with the rivers, they come and they join the sea, and from the sea, it comes to the ocean. Now, that is compound interest, because here the rain is directly not coming to you. The rain is getting added to your river. With there, it's getting added to your sea. From there, it's getting added to your ocean. So it's the interest on interest, the multiplication of water that's happening, that is compounding. That is interest on interest that you're earning. Whereas in case of rain, if it's directly falling, it's like one-time interest that you're earning. I think one more example that I can put here is, suppose Priya and I are sitting facing each other, and if I pick up some snow and I throw at her, that is a simple interest that she's receiving. But if I take that snowball and I roll it towards her, so the snowball is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that is what's going to reach Priya, right? So that is compounding. The snowball that is getting compounded with time, it's adding more value to that original interest. So this is how compounding works. And I think this is the easiest way I can break compounding down for you, because that is how I understood compounding. And we have somebody saying, Ankita Doshi, compounding is clear now. We can move ahead. Oh, okay. We can move ahead, but I think we'll first take up some questions here. Um, oh, wow. We have some really nice comments. Hi, everybody who have joined in. So we have a question from Ankita herself. She's asking, what percent of inflation should we ideally consider while planning for retirement? So, Ankita, the percent of inflation that we need to consider while you are planning for your retirement should be the inflation that is actually being presented to us by the Ministry of Finance. So, you see that every year we get a percentage, that this year this is the percentage at which the inflation has happened. Now, since it's very hard to predict what's going to happen ahead, we have to consider the historic values. So I think that is how we calculate the whole percentage piece here. Priya, you want to add to that?
Yeah, so what you can do here is that in terms of inflation, it's very important to consider, since you have to plan your finances so that it beats the returns beat inflation. So usually we see around 5 to 6% of inflation on a yearly basis, but it's good to take a slightly higher amount. In terms of at Lakshmi, what we usually consider is we consider 8% inflation on a yearly basis, so that we have, even if the inflation increases, we have that marginal amount of money, so that we don't have to rejig our finances at that particular point of time. And if the inflation moves down also, like it goes down, it decreases to around 4 or 5%, which is a rare scenario. It doesn't happen. It's always like the prices are going up and up year on year. But if it reduces, you have that extra sum of money with you. But it's good to take that marginally high amount, which is like you can take up around 8% as the inflation to plan your finances. So I hope that answers your question, Ankita.
Great.
So yeah, so as we now understood like what retirement planning is, so it's really important for you all to like we understood power of compounding, how it works. So it's better to get your work started and plan your finances, so that you can start early and gain a higher amount of money. But let's move forward. We have another thing which we mentioned, that we have a concept called fire. So this is something interesting, and I want all of you to like comment in terms of, are you aware of this concept? Like, have you heard of it before, and how is it related to retirement planning? That Chanchal's gonna tell you. So let's see what our viewers
Fire.
think now.
And guys, this is not the fire that we talk about where we burn our ex's letters. So let's not talk about that fire. Let's see how much we know. So we have answers yes, no, early retirement, nope, never heard of it. We actually have one more question. I think we missed somewhere, which, just a second. So we had a question from Akshata, which said it would be great if you tell us about compounding with example. I think Akshata, I just gave you a couple of examples, so we're clear with compounding there. And seems like we do have to cover a couple of examples to ensure all the users are at the same pace. I mean, there are users who understand pretty quickly, but then we have to take into consideration that everyone is understanding, because everyone is taking time out to come and sit and view this live. So maybe that's one thing that we should all be a little patient about next time. And wow, so we have one answer here from Ankita herself, which says financial independence, retire early. I think we have answers here, so I think it's time we move on to fire actually.
So
So
Chanchal, yeah, I'd like
yeah,
you to explain like what the entire concept of fire is, because there are some users who are not aware of this concept, and it's a very interesting thing to know about. So
definitely. So as Ankita rightly mentioned, FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Now, basically, this is a financial concept. It's a retirement planning concept, which has a goal that says that save and invest very aggressively. Like, you cannot make any mistake here. You have to ensure that at least 50 to 75% of your savings are being invested, and 50 to 70% of your total income is actually being saved. So here the emphasis is on the word savings, income, and investments. So how this go about is, and I'll tell you one thing, how this FIRE concept is different from your normal retirement planning. So there are two key differences, okay? So your first key differences is, I think, what I just highlighted, the aggressive investment method, that you're saving aggressively through from your income. You're taking a huge chunk out of your income as a saving and then investing it. Please be very mindful about the fact that saving is not the end game. You have to convert your savings into investment to ensure that you're actually taking the whole benefit of the amount you have saved. And the second key difference is that this aggressive investment is done with the purview to ensure that you are retiring comparatively early. So this comparatively early is maybe the age of 30 or anywhere between 30 to 40. So these are the two key differences about FIRE, that FIRE is done to retire very, very early compared to like a normal retirement age is what, 60, right? 60 and above. In today's time, we have such hardworking people who don't even retire after 70, 72. So this one is for all those who want to stop working after this age and start, pursuing their dreams. Now, how do you practice FIRE, if you may ask? Like, how can we get into this whole practice of FIRE? So there are a couple of points that I would like to highlight for you guys. First is that you have to focus on your savings and income. Now, I'll tell you why it is important. For example, you earn 500 rupees from like 100 each from 5 different sources. So your total income is rupees 500. Now, if out of this 500 you are saving 400 rupees, that is like a very substantial amount that you're keeping aside, right? But if you fail to actually note down these these 5 different avenues and are only calculating your income from 4 avenues, then your total income becomes 400, and out of that you're saving just 300 rupees. So a 300 rupee saving and a 400 rupee saving per month might not seem that much, right? Like, it's just 100 bucks. How does it even matter? But I think with Priya's Excel sheets that we just saw, we saw that how even a small amount can make such a huge difference with time. So that is the reason you have to ensure that you're taking into consideration all your income. Your total income should be taken, out of which 50 to 75% you're putting aside as savings, and then those savings you start investing. Now, your investment strategy is also going to differ, because when you are planning for a very long-term retirement, like when you're planning to retire at the age of 60, you can actually create a portfolio in a matter where your very, very long term is taken into consideration and you plan things accordingly. But when you want to retire at the age of 30, for example, and you start this whole journey at the age of maybe 25 or 24, you just have 5 to 6 years. And in these 5 to 6 years, you cannot expect to create that same kind of a portfolio that you would have for a 60 years, because that portfolio will be taking some asset classes which are very high risk, but the risk is mitigated because of time. But here you don't get the scope of mitigation because you don't have time. Your time period has reduced significantly. So here your portfolio is going to it's going to go on a toss, and that's why you have to be very mindful of your portfolio at the same time, and hence the emphasis on investment. Now, second thing that you have to take into consideration when you are thinking about a FIRE strategy is that you have to optimize your taxes. And I'll tell you why. When you are planning for your retirement at the age of 60, you must have invested in instruments like NPS, PPF, where you can make contribution per year. After a certain year, you're allowed to withdraw. Like, the lock-in period gets over, you can withdraw, but only after the age of 60 or 65 or 58, whichever is mentioned for that particular investment instrument. After that, whatever amount you receive is going to be completely tax free. But in this case, if you are retiring at the age of 30 or 40, and for example you have made an investment in XYZ instrument which has a lock-in of 5 years, after 5 years you are taking that money out, you don't get tax benefits on it, right? You just get the money with you. So now this money becomes taxable in your hand. and because of that you have to incur a cost because tax is going to go out of your pocket. So you have to be really vigilant when it comes to your planning, your tax planning, when it's a short term portfolio compared to a very very long term for your retirement planning. Then you have to strive for a balance. Now if for example you're taking 50 to 75% out of your total income, you're left with hardly like a 50 or a 25% with you. And at the same time you have to live your life right now because you can't give up on your today because you're planning for your tomorrow. So in this case, when you have to strive a balance in today's time, you have to ensure that even if you're making plans for your retirement, you have enough money to meet your current needs. You have money as your for your date, for your routine expenses. You have money for your short term goals. You have money for your emergencies. You have money for your insurances. So you have to create a balance when it comes to fire because here your your liquid income is really compromised. Then the next thing you have to ensure is prioritizing and making sacrifices. Now like I just said, that because you are left with very little income, you really have to prioritize your goals. You really have to prioritize which goal you have to do, like right in what time. So that is one thing that you have to make sure that you are really putting your focus into. You have to make sacrifices. So either you plan for today or you plan for tomorrow, and you can do it in a significant way if you're looking for a longer term retirement plan, but it becomes very difficult when you restrict yourself with the time period. Your next thing that you have to consider when you are talking about fire is choosing your retirement and taking the responsibility of it. If today you wish to retire at the age of 30 and you want to take a world tour with the whole, like replicate Priya's retirement goal where you have to travel the whole world and you want to taste all the cuisines, you have chosen this retirement for yourself. You have to take care, you have to take the responsibility of ensuring that you are creating that corpus for yourself, because you don't want to fall short of that money, right? Like you don't want that after retirement you are feeling, oh shit, my entire money is just eroded in 1 week or in like 1 month itself. So you have to take responsibility of that. Then the last thing that I would like to conclude this whole fire concept is that retirement is not the end. Retirement is actually the beginning of your retired life. So, retirement age is one thing and your lifespan is the other. Sustainability is the key. You have to sustain on that money because now you are only going to live on that passive income. You have to ensure that you are not running out of money or falling short of it. So when like this session is not about the instruments, but when we are going to cover the instruments, we are going to tell you how some instruments are essential to ensure you are meeting your retirement corpus, and how some instruments are really important because they are going to ensure that after you have retired your money is still growing. You haven't put a full stop on that. So I think that is something that is really important. And if you really think that fire is something that you can play with, pun intended, then do let us know. Do tell us if you can actually make that kind of a sacrifice in today's time, and you can actually make your lifestyle so restricted too. So let's see if we get something here. But with that, I would just like to conclude fire. And do we have any more questions right now before going to the last part of the session?
Let me check. So we have Benita's question. She's asking that if we use the 50-30-20, the golden rule of budgeting concept, out of that 30%, 20%, how much should go towards retirement? So Benita, there's no set specific percentage as to how much out of 25 or 20% should go towards retirement. It's basically dependent on how much corpus do you require at the time of retirement and how much do you already have, and according to your requirement you can allocate the money. So there's no specific percentage, but what you can do here is that you can start planning early so that you are aware of how much you need to invest towards it. And also to from the 30% wants, like if during some months you have less expenses, so from that 30% you can allocate towards your savings. So it acts like a bonus, additional bonus towards your savings, and that you can allocate towards your different financial goals and help you grow your financial corpus, I would say. So I think it answers that. Chanchal, would you like to add anything to it?
Just one thing that when you say that your 20% is from where you're going to take your retirement, the money for your retirement fund, please remember that this 20% is also from where you're going to take your money out for your insurance premiums, for your debt repayment, for your emergency fund, and for your other goals. So if you cannot actually, like how Priya said, that you cannot have a set percentage for your retirement fund. You have to ensure that it is bifurcated properly so that all your goals are being taken care of. And if there is something like, for example, if you receive a bonus check on Diwali, or if you ended up actually saving on some sale that you were planning on, or some plan changes, and you actually end up saving money, make sure that that money you're not splurging on your luxuries, but that is what you're actually allocating to this 20% and adding to your existing funds. This way you can make this exceptional jump in your interest on interest, because like we said, when you take compounding into consideration, any plug-in, any injection of funds that has been made is going to earn interest with time. So yeah, that's all.
That's great. We have received another question. It's from Kriti. She's asking that she's earning which is not used anywhere in household or any other stuff. Can she think about going for fire? She's 35, thinking of retire early as in by 45. Okay. So, Kriti, that's always, it's a personal choice that when a person wants to retire, if you want to retire, plan everything so that, since this concept of fire and retiring early is, very, I would say, it's very tempting that we have to retire early, but it requires a lot of discipline also in terms of the financial commitment that we would say. Because if you retire, you don't have that earning source of money the post retirement, I would say. Not a constant source of money. People can go for a part-time job, or they can set up their own business, so that's a personal choice. But in a general scenario, we don't have an income during that time, an active income. So before you retire, it's better to go for a proper planning, that because the I would say the amount, the years that you want to live, and a non source of I would say there is no source of income increases. So supposedly, if a person is retiring at 60 and their life expectancy is 80 years, so they have to plan for those 20 years. But suppose if you are retiring at 40 and you have the life expectancy of 80 years, then you have to plan for that 40 years, that how for that 40 years you will survive, and you will, have you will cover the day to day expenses, your goals, and everything. So the number of years increases when you retire early. So it's better to plan for that, and it's good that you want to, retire early, but it's plan everything beforehand. And since you mentioned that you don't have your earning is not used anywhere, it's good to what you can do is chart out a plan for yourself. Okay. So there are three types of goals that you can do. So one is an ultra short term goal, that in the next 1 year, what do you want to do with your money. Second is the short term goal, between 1 to 3 years, what are your financial goals. And the third is the long term goal, that more than 3 years, what are you planning in terms of you want to buy your own car, or you want to invest some money, or you want to fund your kids education, or anything like that, or you want to retire early. So retirement is also a major financial goal that one has. So this comes under the long term goal for you. So after charting out the goals, you can figure out what amount of money do you require. So for that, you can use a goal calculator, and we have a very easy to use and very interesting goal calculator on the Lakshmi apps. You can download the app and check out a calculator. It will help you in planning your goals in terms of how much money you need to invest, and what will be the goal amount, and how will you achieve it. All right. So after everything is planned, now you have a clear structure in your mind as to for the next 10 years, this is what my financial plan looks like. So this will be, a great direction for you, and you will also be very happy. And you can, what you can do is you can follow up with every year, or on a depending upon the goals, you can monitor your portfolio accordingly and can make the changes if required, and this will help you a lot in achieving your goals. And this way you will also put your income to use. So you can also, what you can do is, you can also plan out what you want as your personal goal, like what you want to do in your life. Supposedly if your goal is to travel, so make a travel fund for yourself, invest your money for that. If you want to build your own house, invest your money towards it. So after some point of time, when you achieve it, it's actually like your savings has worked out towards achieving this. So that's a great accomplishment. So I hope it answers your question. And next thing is, how can Lakshmi help in making that planning? It's not that retire, just working less. All right. So yeah, it's not a problem that if you want to, work less, it's always a personal choice. And sometimes it's good also because we don't want that financial burden or that stress that, every day I have to go and work to earn that particular amount of money. So for that, you need to have that financial cushion with yourself so that you don't face that burden. And you can download the Lakshmi app. We have different calculators. You can calculate the amount of money required, and you can start investing from that. So I hope it answers.
Great. I think with this we have covered all the questions. So, Priya, why don't you share with our users the Lakshmi calculator so they actually know what we're talking about and they can actually have the look and feel of it. So, if they really feel that this is something which is of great help to them, they can go and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. For those of you who are watching us live, if you like this video, do share it with your friends and family also. And if you think this will be helpful for them in planning their finances, do share it and do like the video also. And by the time, I'll show you how this retirement calculator works. All right. So here on the screen is the screen recording of how the Lakshmi calculator works. So let's get started with this. In terms of, firstly, when we go to the Lakshmi app, we have to click on the retirement calculator. After you click on it, you will be asked to enter your current age. So supposedly your current age is 25, and then you have to enter your retirement age. Supposedly it's 60. Now at what time of what is your expected life expectancy? Then supposedly you wish to live till the age of 80 years, and now you have to put your monthly expenses, that is around 20,000 we have considered. So the rate of return we have assumed right now for this example is 12%. So now you will see that in terms of your 20,000 right now, because of the inflation, that amount has actually turned out to be 3 lakh per month. So you see here the major difference as to how that 20,000 that you require, you think that 20,000 is my monthly expense right now, it may turn out to be 3 lakh rupees in the coming period of when you retire. And at the age of 80, it may come out to be 13.8 lakh. So you need to be prepared for that amount of time period. And because of the values what we entered here, this calculator will show you how much corpus is required, what is the SIP amount that you can use, like monthly investments you can put towards it, and what is the lump sum investment you can allocate towards your retirement fund, which can help you in achieving this goal. So I hope this is very easy for all of you to understand. You just have to put certain details. So the important aspects to cover here is, what is your current age? What is the age that you plan to retire, which is very important. Then the life expectancy and the monthly expenses that you have right now. So what is your like estimated expenses as of now? Enter that. Take inflation into account, which is very important, because if we keep the money as it is, it reduces the purchasing value of it. So as we usually say that money kept at home is always getting reduced in value because of the inflation. So it's always good to consider it and invest in such instruments which help in beating returns, help in getting inflation beating returns to you. So that is very important. And after that, you will get to see the corpus amount required, the SIP investment or the lump sum investment, whichever is preferable to you. And post that, you can see the various recommendations that we have. So we have time based portfolios, so you can refer to it and make a decision as per your choice. So I hope it answers all your questions, and we have something very interesting in the next 3 weeks planned for all of you. So we have just a second. We have a comment from Kriti. She's trying that I will try. Please ask your support executive. All right. So Kriti, if you're facing any issues, do let us know. You can inbox in the Lakshmi's handle, or you can just make a post on the app so that we can help you out with your query. And yeah, so we have a lot of requests in terms of the instruments that they want to know about. So we have kept two sessions separately, just to discuss about the various instruments that you can plan for your retirement. So let's see. So it is planned on the 4th and the 5th week of September. And the next session, which is the most requested session, was the wills versus nomination. So that is coming up on 16th of September on Thursday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So stay tuned for it. And we are going to cover every instrument related to retirement planning, how you can use it. We'll go into the details of it as well, into explaining you what that instrument means, how it can help you in planning your retirement. So stay tuned for this. And for those who have joined us for this session and have not watched the previous video, you can always go back to the video section of the Lakshmi page and always check out the previous video so that you are in tune with this entire retirement theme. And at the end of this month, you will be very well versed with planning your retirement in terms of how you need to plan, what you need to do, and what all instruments are related to retirement. So I hope that we can deliver something very interesting to you all, and it can help you in growing yourself in your financial journey. Over to you, Chanchu.
Absolutely. And a lot of you must be wondering that, we talked about this whole fact that if you are someone in your 20s, then how you should go about planning your retirement. And if you are in your 30s or 40s, then how you should go about planning your retirement. Well, we thought of doing that with like along with this session today, but then we realized that it would make no sense for us to cover that topic right now, because for us to break it down to you, we first need to tell you about the different types of instruments, because then it'll be easier for you to connect the dots that, okay, this is the instrument they're talking about, and why this instrument should be in our portfolio and why this should not be in our portfolio. So what we're going to do is, like Priya mentioned, we have two separate sessions. One session will be about the government-backed schemes like NPS, PPF, EPF, APY, and one will be about the different asset classes that also contribute towards retirement planning, which are often neglected because they don't certainly say retirement per se. So first we're going to cover these two topics, and in the last session, when we cover all the investment instruments, that is when we are going to actually break it down to you that if you are a person in your 20s and 30s, then what your portfolio should look like, and if you're a person in your 50s and 60s, then what your portfolio should look like. Again, we say one thing, that these are like the broader benchmarks that we have kind of calculated, but this is not a standard go-to thing that you need to blindly follow. You can always use it as a blueprint and then sketch your own portfolio out, because like we say, individuality is what plays a huge role in planning your financial goals. So say like after saying this, I think there's nothing left for today's session, and thank you guys for tuning in today. It was lovely talking to you all. We really love when you guys put in your comments, put in your feedback. It really makes us feel really happy, and we think that we're actually making use of this time. If there are more questions, if you have any suggestions when it comes to us displaying something on the screen, do let us know. If there's any problem with the visuals or something, we'll try to make sure that in the next session the same thing is not happening. And do also drop any comment or where you feel that some topic which should have been a part of certain bigger topic is missed out, or you want us to cover certain topic within retirement planning itself. So we'll ensure that our next session does include it too. And we are trying to cover retirement planning from the basics for all those here who are new to finances, who are afraid of finances, who think that finances is not their cup of tea. Well, it might not be your cup of tea. You might be bored, but then you have to do it, right? It's like passing that 10th and 12th board exam. You don't want to do
We'll
it.
make it very interesting for you. That's our promise.
Oh yes, and please let us know if you like today's session and how was it. It will be really nice. Do drop your testimonials. It will be really valued to us, and we'll really look forward to meeting you guys again. So have a great night, have a great week, and please stay safe, stay home, wear your mask, and happy Ganesh Chaturthi to all of you in advance.
Yeah.
We hope with um, Ganpati Bappa coming, it brings all the prosperity, it brings all the health and love and happiness in everyone's life again. Priya, do you want to give your wishes to everybody?
Yeah, I wish you all a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi and do spend a lot of time with your family. It's a long weekend for all of us, so spend time, enjoy, and have fun. Enjoy this festival and stay safe. And if you like this today's video, do share it with your friends and family. And it helps us reach more people, more women like you who wants to learn finance and wants to learn it in a easier way, so that we can reach them and help them in growing their personal finance journey. And do hit the like button if you like this video, so it makes us feel good also, and we can always improve ourselves in terms of delivering this session to all of you. And if you have any topic that you want us to arrange a session, do let us know. We'll plan a session for you in the upcoming months, so that we can cover all the topics that you want to learn, and we can move towards growing, like taking charge of their money, of our money. So that is our important goal that we want to achieve through Lakshmi. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Great. And guys, if you have any more questions that are left unanswered, or if you are watching this session later and you feel like there's something you want to ask, you can always download the Lakshmi app. It's available on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You can just download the app, and over there you will find the Being Lakshmi community. Please feel free to drop your question over there. Priya and I are there. Money experts are going to ensure that all your questions are being answered with complete accuracy and in the easiest way possible to make. See, there's no point of us telling you something if we know that you won't be able to understand it, right? So we ensure that everything is simplified. So do drop your question there. If you want, you can also join the Being Lakshmi group on Facebook. It's a private group, a women's only group, and be a part of it. Do drop your questions there. You'll find amazing women out there who are answering questions, who are asking questions, and who are actually learning with us every day. So, with that said, good night, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. See you.